Hello, fellow human. Welcome to day 16 of my 30-day Talk to Camera challenge. I said that I was going to do these videos while I was on vacation, but yesterday was a pretty long day, long travel day, but we did get here to our resort in Mexico just fine. So I didn't do day 16 on day 16, but that's okay. I'm going to do it right now. The topic for today, and I'm in this little cool second floor gazebo situation, a few hammocks, and so I figured I'd record here. The topic for today is to talk about my favorite movies or TV shows. I don't tend to watch too much TV, and I don't go to see too many movies these days. So I think a good place to start would be to talk about what kind of shows I like and movies. And it seems the trend for those are that when it comes to TV shows I tend to like shows that people consider dark, I suppose. Some of my favorites would include Sopranos. I really like that. Breaking Bad is one of my favorites. Watched that a few times. I really liked Ozark. I haven't watched the new season, but a show that I binged in the last half year or so was Peaky Blinders. I really liked that, and I think the thread that carries through all of them, even if it's not specifically dark in nature, is that the protagonists are morally dubious. That is to say, even all the characters, they just live in a gray area. It's a situation like Breaking Bad. Almost everybody on that show is bad. Even the people that are supposed to be good are only relatively good. They're not absolutely good. Or a show like Peaky Blinders, almost none of those people are good. They're all only relatively good or better than others. And sometimes what's compelling is that during character arcs, the characters anyway, have these moments where they have the chance to do good, and they do. Maybe for bad reasons, or maybe they do bad things for good reasons. Those are interesting to me. When it comes to movies that I enjoy, it's both that, and I really like thrillers, or movies that are thought-provoking. They're meant to be thought-provoking. One of my favorite movies is Pulp Fiction, and almost all those folks, I think, are supposed to be bad, but there's a redemption arc, which is interesting, and it's also fairly artistic in the fact that the way the movie's presented, it jumps around in time. I really liked Reservoir Dogs for the same reason. I know those are both Tarantino movies. What other movies do I really, really like? I get nostalgia for a lot of the movies of the 80s. Of course, I like fantasy and sci-fi, so like a Lord of the Rings or a Star Wars, something like those. Jurassic Park brings me back to my younger years. So I like a lot of different stuff. Comedies, I tend to enjoy. Who doesn't like to laugh? I mentioned in a video the other day that my wife and I have very different personalities. That includes the kind of movies and TV we enjoy. I consider the things that she likes to be garbage TV. She likes, the Real Housewives and the hip hops and, the Vanderpumps and those kinds of shows where it's just a bunch of people creating drama for themselves. I tend to think of movies that she likes. She likes blockbusters, so popcorn flicks, Fast and Furiouses, and the Marvel movies. She likes to be entertained when she goes to see a movie or watches a movie or a TV show. She kind of wants, I think, thoughtless entertainment. I prefer thoughtful entertainment. At least that's my view. Maybe it's stupid of me to say that, and maybe it's a little bit pretentious sounding, but that seems to be the case. I don't know. I like all kinds of different stuff, really. One of the coolest movies, I wouldn't say coolest, but it was cool. Definitely thought-provoking, but I think executed well, was that last year there was a movie that came out from A24, was the production studio, and the movie was called Civil War. The concept of this movie is that civil war in modern day America. And it was presented in such a way as to be implausible for most people. And I think they did that on purpose so as to not alienate part of the audience. In the world we live in the United States, it's very divisive. And one of the biggest divisions is left versus right, red versus blue. And they set up a scenario in this movie where the alliances between particular states would, at the face of it, seem impossible for people. And I thought that was really an interesting approach, because not only do you not alienate potentially half of the audience by saying, they're taking this side or that side, and so this movie is not for me. What I liked is that in this particular movie, spoiler alerts if you haven't seen it and you want to, I guess, but there's a second civil war, a modern day civil war in the United States, prompted by a president who has turned dictator. And we get little evidence of this. It's their third term. They disbanded the FBI. They've used airstrikes against American citizens, and they haven't had an interview in 14 months. That's little bits of information you get throughout the movie. And so what it seems to me, when you think about it a little bit more, is that this is unacceptable no matter which side you're on. And in this movie, California and Texas team up as an alliance. There's an allied Western forces. And on the face of it, most people would say that is ridiculous. There couldn't be two states that have more distance between them politically. But you think about it a little bit and you think, if we really had a president that overstepped their bounds and was becoming an authoritarian third term, again, you disband the FBI, airstrikes against American citizens, I think that's enough for two very different states that are large enough that their economies compete against some of the major countries in the world, that they would team up and say, no, why would we support a president and a government and a federal government that acts this way? Anyway, that's just a little bit about some of the types of TV shows I like, some of the movies I like, some thoughts. I don't have a whole lot to say that's valuable. I don't particularly think there's a lot of deep contemplation regarding this topic that would tell me anything informative. Maybe there is, I don't know. But I said I was going to do the video. This is day 16. I know I missed yesterday. I may do video number 17 today. I may wait and do it tomorrow. Maybe I'll catch up. Maybe I won't. Maybe I'll wait to catch up until I get home. I know I committed to doing these videos on schedule, but I think as long as I complete the schedule on time, that I'll be okay with that. Yeah, that's it for today. I'm relaxing. I'm enjoying Mexico. We've had some drinks by the pool today. I'm taking a little bit of time now to do this video before dinner. Hopefully I see you guys tomorrow. Adios, amigos.